everyone. We want to welcome you today to the We Are Flora Pearl podcast. I am your host, Latasha J. Humphrey, founder of the Flora Pearl Foundation Incorporated, and I am so excited to get into the podcast today. But before we get into it, we want to let our audience know that this podcast is being brought to you by the Flora Pearl Foundation, where our vision is bridging the gap and building a legacy. Our mission is that we are a 501c3 community-focused nonprofit mentoring organization building healthy relationships and partnerships between women and girls through education, community service, networking, unification, and career planning. Our inspiration is Flora Pearl Humphrey. She was my paternal grandmother, and she taught me a lot about faith, family, and community, which is where my inspiration comes from. Now, right now, I have the pleasure to introduce to our audience a mother-daughter duo who are truly amazing. I am so excited that they are a part of the Flora Pearl Foundation's vision. They believe in us, and they believe so much so that when we were launching a program about 3 years ago called A Will to Win Institute, they took a chance on us. So they are very dear to my heart. So without further ado, I want to introduce Leilani Joseph and her mom, Yolaine Joseph Sykes. Hi, ladies. It's such an honor to have you today. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. If you both would just briefly introduce yourself to our audience. You want to start, Leilani?
I'm Leilani Joseph. I'm in ninth grade and I go to Ramsey High School, and I also attend their engineering program.
Awesome. All right. Mom?
My name is Yolaine Sykes. I'm a parent, mother, wife, entrepreneur, teacher. I've been teaching 21 years with Birmingham City Schools. 5 years as an adjunct professor with Miles College.
All right.
And I've been an entrepreneur probably for the past 10 years or so.
Wow. So you're packing some punches together. And although, Yolaine, you wear so many different hats, and, one of the areas that you just talked about being an educator for so many years, the Flora Pearl Foundation, one of our focuses is education, and it's building those partnerships and relationships in that. And so we do believe that education, it doesn't have to take place in the classroom, but in the classroom, we know that a lot of it can go on. And so if you would just kind of in this moment, if you would just talk about being an educator in this day and time, and just share a little bit maybe about an experience that you would like the audience to know.
Well, I started my teaching career in New York, and I guess probably about 21, 22 years ago, I moved to Birmingham, Alabama. I started teaching at Ensley High School. Okay. And initially I was a speech teacher and then asked to do theater. And so I think I've made the most impact in my teaching career between being a theater teacher and then recently being at Ramsey for the past 5 years as a AP literature teacher. Okay. I think that the success to my teaching career is that I try to build relationships with students, parents, and the community. Yeah. And I think in building those intimate relationships with my students, it has really, really enabled me to reach out to them a little more, to encourage them, motivate them, and be a mentor other than just an instructional teacher. So through theater, you have more opportunities to meet with kids after school for rehearsals. Yeah. You travel with them for theater competitions. I've been blessed to be able to, Leilani has never missed a theater competition. Every year I kind of tag her along with me. And last year she had the pleasure of actually getting a chance to compete with her first drama competition along with the other students. So it has been a joy to be able to see some of my students grow up to be successful educators, nurses, social workers, and actors and teachers. So just watching them be successful in the community and across the country has been a big, big blessing. Allowing students to feel comfortable through theater to speak publicly, to have good communication skills. Yeah. Sometimes it's not about them growing up to be famous actors or performers. Right. But one of my former students is now over the theater department with Birmingham City Schools, and she was in a drama class at Ensley High School.
Oh.
I have a student that has been in several movies and commercials that went to Ensley High School. I have a student out in California that's a comedian. So students that are nurses that have provided me with optimal health care when they find out that this Miss Joseph's coming through there.
Wow.
So it has just been a blessing. I have students who have taken my daughter under her wing and put them into my son and daughter into performances and activities due to the relationships that I've had with them. So being that I've been able to teach for 21 years, I've really had a chance to see things come full circle. And I know that through literature, through theater, kids just learn life skills.
Right. Yeah. Did you have anything to share, Leilani, as it relates to, with your mom and kind of the journey that you all really are taking together with her being an educator?
Yeah, it kind of brought us closer together because since her being a teacher, she's able to help me with homework or problems that I'm having with school, whether social or, stuff like that. So I think it's a good thing that I have a mother that's a teacher.
Awesome. Yay for the teachers. And as it relates to just how we initially connected and, like I said earlier, you are really dear to my heart because you took a chance on us with the program that we partnered with Faith Chapel, Christian Center. And I just want, as it relates to the A Will to Win program, and if you would, Leilani, kind of tap into, for you, I know your mom, we'll let her share about being attracted to the program and what even, but I know you all had to have that conversation with her saying, hey, do you want to be a part? Because you could have very well said, I don't. I don't want to. So I guess, even for you, you can answer that question too. I know she kind of may have had the having to sign you up for it, but what attracted you to say, yes, Mom, I'll go ahead and do this?
Because usually I don't really get along with people my age, and I never really, when I first got to the church, I didn't know that many girls, and so I just thought it would be a good bond to make with other people my age.
Okay, all right. Mom, what about you?
At the time, Faith Chapel was encouraging small groups, life groups, and what attracted me to this particular, because there were so many things that I could have chosen,
right.
But why I chose this particular organization was I did want a way for her to be with women that appeared to have a similar mindset, that clearly had goals that I knew were going to uplift my daughter, that she was going to be in a positive environment, something that would help her self-esteem, but would also give her opportunity to connect with other young girls who were, Christian, who had a positive mindset, who were going to encourage her to have high self-esteem and to really feel good about herself at a time that was just, hard for her to feel good about herself.
Okay.
So it was one thing for her to hear it from mommy, to hold your head up, to speak up, to not let what other people say influence how you feel about yourself. It's one thing when mom and dad and grandma are telling you these things, but it's like affirmation when they hear it from somebody else. Sometimes just seeing a different face, just hearing it from a different voice, being in a different atmosphere is just like an amen in what you've already tried to instill at home. And when you are a mother, and at the time I was a single parent, and trying to run my different businesses and everything, it can get to be kind of stressful. You work during the week, you have a couple days a week that you're pulling 2 shifts, and so Sundays and Saturdays are time that you have to really bond with your children, and you want to make the most of those experiences. So it gave her a chance to release some stress and to be honest about some things going on with me, saying, oh, it's okay, you can trust these people.
Yeah. And for you, Leilani, with it, I just think about even the time frame. It probably was like a total of 10 weeks. I remember that. But I want you to share, with even, just share your experience going through it and how it really impacted you. Like your mom was saying, she was saying it was a safe atmosphere, but then you had to get in there and really entrust, that we were okay to be able to share. But with that, share about your experience going through a Will to Win.
Well, I had a good time, a fun time with the program. It took me a while to get adjusted to the other girls, but I think I've came a long way because when I first started the program, I really didn't want to be bothered with people my age, and I had a bad attitude, and I just really didn't feel like fooling with people. But after I left the place, my attitude was much better. I was able to bond with people my age and older than me and be more friendly. So I think it impacted me a lot.
Okay. All right. And, if you had to tell, a girl who's 12, who's kind of in that mode of discovery, what would you tell her is the biggest thing that you learned, from being in a Will to Win?
To not be afraid to speak your mind. Although some of the stuff it's a time and a place to say certain things, but it's good if you have somebody that actually cares about you and you can open up to, because I know some people here, not everybody is nice, don't speak to strangers, but it's some strangers you can trust, and luckily I was blessed to meet those. You guys. You're not strangers anymore.
Right?
Yeah. Let me just clear that up.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I get a hug. Like that's a great thing. And so I did want to know, like you were saying, kind of the changes that you were even going through as mom, and then what you saw with her. Mm-hmm. How did this help you all's relationship as mother and daughter? Even with her going through the program and then coming out of it, like she said, in just a totally different way. So, Mom, if you'll kind of address that, Miss Yolaine.
Yes. So as I said, what brought me to Faith Chapel was that I was looking for a new church home, and several people invited me, and I said, okay, if I have 3 people that invite me to the same church, I've got to go. So when that 3rd invitation came, and I had been looking for a way to be more connected. So when you're dealing with divorce, but your ex-husband is still a very good father and still very involved, with the children, it is hard if you're working a lot. It is hard trying to juggle a possible new relationship, your own business, your career. It can just get to be overwhelming. So sometimes I felt like I didn't always have as much patience as I should with her. Sometimes I felt like I didn't always have the words, the inner strength to give her, for her to feed off of. So it was good to have very confident, strong Black women that could kind of fill that void temporarily and could kind of get us over the hump. Just, kind of get you over the hump a little bit,
Yeah.
So that was what I really, really liked about it. What it did for me personally is it just gave me some time to not put my daughter on hold, but just to say, I don't have to do it all by myself.
Yes.
Somebody else understands, somebody else relates, and let these people help you,
Yeah.
So I just am a firm believer that at some point in my life, I listened. And God said, you already have everything you need to survive and to be successful. You just have to take advantage of the resources that are there. So this foundation was just one of those resources that I had to bow down, accept, and tap into, and didn't see it as a way, oh, I'm just giving up. I didn't feel like I was turning her over to strangers, but technically I was. I had to step out on faith. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of organizations that are not holy, that do not feed positive energy and the right message to children.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God, this was one of those organizations that I could say, well, no, I don't know these people personally, but I've read their mission. They're connected to the church. They're strong Black women, and I have to just trust that this is one of those resources that I'm going to have to tap into. So I think too often when you're this strong, confident, she-ro, I can tackle the world, I got this, I will not be defeated. You have to say, wait a minute now.
Right.
You can't be 100 at everything.
Right.
Something's going to be lacking, and you don't want to look up, and it's your relationship with your daughter. That is so, so precious.
Yeah.
So that is what it did for me. It just kind of got me over the hump to know that, okay, I don't really have to do everything, by myself.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
So.
I definitely can relate to that as far as like knowing you don't have to be the she-ro.
Right.
I mean, you still fly.
Right.
But you can, it's like I can get help. And I believe it does take a village, and that's just what it is. So I say that tribe love, it's okay to receive it from the right people, like you were saying.
Yeah, and in our society, unfortunately, we still have a lot of negative stereotypes for African American women.
Right.
And so it is good for my daughter to see women who care about their skin, care about their hair, care about their clothing. Even though they may be tired, they don't look beat down and tired and worn out. It's like, I'm going to beat this face and throw on this wig and put on my makeup. And if I don't look good, at least I can look the part, But that means a lot for young girls to constantly see women who look happy.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have to play the role of the angry, mad Black woman.
And
They have to see people who are happy. And that was my biggest thing. If I was not smiling, if I was not happy in a marriage, it didn't make sense for me to get a divorce and still be big down and unhappy.
Yes.
It was defeating the purpose. I needed my daughter to see what healthy relationships look like, what happy people look like.
Yeah.
And so all of that had to come together, and this just, kind of got us through that, segue kind of, just pushed us on in that.
That's awesome.
direction.
That's awesome. And how about you, Leilani? As far as your relationship with your mom, what did you see that it did for you?
It grew us stronger together because before we would spend time together, but it wasn't really that much, and we would talk and everything, but it wasn't, a lot. It would be like good morning, hey type of stuff. But now we could talk about almost anything, and she could give me advice, and I could give her advice. And before, it wasn't like that. But now we done came a long way.
Yes. And that works for me. And I'm just so very grateful that just with what you were saying, that's a compliment, and we do appreciate it, just that's what you notice, even on the outside looking in initially, and then becoming a part of it. Because just like you said, not all situations are like that, or you see different organizations, and I don't knock, I just think, people do what they do, but what we want to do is we want to operate with a spirit of excellence, and not that we're perfect, but my thing is too, we want to make an impact, so whatever that takes. And so we can be real about how we feel. It's not, fake it till you make it, but in some instances you may, like you said, you got to put your face on, and you may not feel the best that day, but you can have more days that are good days versus the one that may not be too good, So I definitely, appreciate it, and wanted to, even segue into when you talked about supporting one another and just being able to see that positive. I love, we talked about your skincare line, and like you was just saying that in your hair care. And I would love for you to talk about that, because one of the areas too is about career planning and, just that entrepreneurship. And so I wanted you to explain and kind of, share with the audience about your business. And being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Well, I, through trial and error, I've tried several things over the years, but The one that most recently that has seemed to be very successful is my skincare line.
Okay.
So right after the divorce, I used to give, well, while I was married, I used to give Lawrence and Leilani, my children, a lot of elaborate birthday parties. That was just my thing. I would come up with these great birthday party themes for them every year. So someone said, well, you know, you give the best birthday parties for your children. You can make a living. You should do that as a business. And I thought, people going to pay me to do this? And I looked into it. And sure enough, people were like, yeah, I will pay you. You know, you're going to do all of this. And, you know, at a set fee, and I don't have to worry about all of this stuff that you do. So it would involve activities and decorations and face painting and games and all. And so, yeah, I started my business, Ladybug Creations. And I did a lot of crafts. I used to make a lot of bows and bling out everything for Leilani and, you know, paint stuff and do stuff for her little outfits and all.
Right.
So I just started selling, you know, the Converse blinged out, the bows blinged out, would do the birthday parties with the face painting and polish the little girls' nails. I collected all of Leilani's Halloween costumes and, you know, would take pictures of the guests with, you know, the princess costumes and everything, and turned it into a business. So a few years ago, I had a friend and a couple of students who were having some skin issues, and I would just make products and give them away. Okay. And Leilani has had bouts with eczema and acne over the years, and my grandmother and my mother would just say, oh, just mix up some salve and throw it on there. You know what to do. She was constantly dealing with eczema. Grandmother said, don't buy that Elvino, not that Elvino is not good. Mm-hmm. She's like, now you know you can take some oatmeal and powdered milk and put it in that baby's bath water and let her soak in that, and that's just as good. And we were getting good results. So some of my girls, my teacher's aides, were getting ready and buying these prom dresses that were strapless and sleeveless. And I'm like, the acne on the back and the shoulders, you all can't do that. And mixing up my salve, and you're going to put this on, and we're going to have to work on this skin before prom. And they were amazed at the results. They're like, oh, can I get some more? I'm like, look, this is expensive to make up. Y'all going to have to start paying for it, just playing. Uh-huh. And co-worker had a reaction. I said, I'm going to make you a scrub and something to soak in. She said, what is in this? I said, oh, it's some grandma recipes. Right. Remedies and stuff. No, you need to be selling this. Stop giving this stuff away. How much do you charge? And little by little, people just kept saying, you need to sell it. You need to sell it. You need to sell it. So I started packaging it in mason jars and Ziploc bags and doing little craft fairs and little vendor events. And then my mentor, Bernadine Birdsong, had a Diva Day where I was selling products, and she said, clients are asking where they can get this from. You got a website? No. Got a Facebook page? I just make it and sell it out of mason jars for little events like this. She's like, no, baby, you're going to leave some of this here so my clients can come back and get it. And we're going to talk about prices and stuff. And I think I need to work with you on this. Uh-huh. And so she started stocking my merchandise. She said, you got to get a better jar. We're not doing the mason jars anymore.
Okay,
you know,
okay.
Then we need a label. And what are you calling this? I go to school and I'm talking to the students, and they were like, yes, because we were talking about acronyms in class. Right. And with the IB program at Ramsey, they use a lot of acronyms for everything. IB is, International Baccalaureate. Okay. And so then they have a RI paper, which is a research investigation paper, and all of these acronyms. So yes initially stood for Yolaine's essential scrubs, because I was doing scrubs. Then the kids said, well, no, it's Yolaine's enhancing salves. So because I was doing salves, I said, let's just do something general. And on my own, I just moved it to Yolaine's enhancing skincare products, because I began to do a little bit of everything. Yeah. So even now, most of my products are based on customers saying, I have this issue, can you make something for it? Okay. I do a little research, or I call my grandmother who's 90-something years old. Wow. And I say, okay, what do you recommend for this? And then I look up to see what facts I can find to support some of these ingredients. She doesn't measure anything. And we just kind of go from there. Let's see. Miss Birdsong recommended me to a couple of other establishments, and so I go to Organic Harvest Market. do a demo for them. They like it. They carry the product. I buy most of my ingredients at Golden Temple Cafe on the south side. I do a demo for them, and now they carry the products. And I just kept going around to different establishments, and right now I have about 6 different locations that carry the product.
Good for you.
Yeah, so it just kind of moved from there. So with the help of, I have a parent who owned a printing company, and she designed my first set of labels. I paid a student who wanted to go to school for graphic and web design to create my website. And so through my business, I've taught students how to be entrepreneurs. I pay a young lady a monthly fee for kind of monitoring and updating my website. She's a freshman in college now at Auburn University.
Look at you.
Right. So my brochures and flyers, kids will see them and say, oh, you need to add that, you need to do this, and they'll play around with it. And I pay them for their time and their services. But all of my products are organic. I make them right here, my kitchen countertop.
Yeah.
I order my jars and things like that wholesale and in bulk. And I've just been blessed. The city is doing some things that are coming up soon, and they're trying to kind of keep it on the low. But you should be looking for me soon in the new Positz building downtown. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Okay.
And we'll see where it goes
Right.
And I've done some partnerships with a couple of other ladies in the city that either have storefronts or have businesses where they wanted to partner with me. So a friend of mine sells candles, and she has a package spa deal that she does with her candles and my scrubs.
Okay.
I have another lady, Stacy, who makes all kind of detox and organic juices and specialized products, a lot of everything. She does meal plans and all, but she carries my entire line of healing salves and use those in some of her services with her spa. So getting with organizations.
All right.
So I do dibble and dab in a lot of things, but most of the skincare line is from customers making requests about things, and then me doing research to kind of figure out what I can make to go along with that. I noticed that there were a lot of organic products on the market with honey in them, and I called my grandmother and I'm like, I'm getting a lot of response to this pain healing salve that I'm making with essential oils. And I said, is there something I can do to kind of enhance it a little more to get a better results? Not that it's doing poorly, but I just always like to be on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, I put a little honey in my salve. I said, you didn't tell me that. Why are you releasing the information bits and pieces at a time? I said, you told me what essential oils to put in, but you never mentioned honey. And she said, yeah. I said, well, now how much honey would I put, in an 8-ounce jar? Baby, I don't know, just to put a little dab. I said, well, does it make the skin sticky? Well, if it make it sticky, add a little bit more oil. No measurement. So sometimes I just have to play, and by the time I put something on the market, that may be the 3rd, 4th, or 5th version of it to get the texture, the consistency. I have a group of friends that sample all of my products. If I come out with something new, I give it away. I have about, a few friends. Okay, try this. What is it missing? Well, should it smell like this? Is it too heavy? Is it too light? To get feedback.
Yeah.
All of them have different skin types. So I can play around with that, and they love it. That that's fun to them. Just Leilani too. She wants to dibble and dab in some of everything. So it works out well that my family uses the product.
Yeah, that's
my
awesome.
family uses it. So the organic stores that sell the product appreciate me because it is just buying into the economy. The fact that I buy ingredients from them, but then they turn around and they sell the product. They can vouch to the customer that this is good for you, that this is something that's going to be beneficial because we see her in here. She's a regular customer. My best friend, Dr. Kamaria Catalan, is a veterinarian in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, and she is a vegetarian, and her son is a they got all these new names for stuff.
Vegan
or something, pulmonarian. I don't know all of these different
oh my,
things
that's new
now.
for me.
I don't eat chicken. Whatever the case may be. So she's like, I have a lot of clients who are into the whole organic and natural thing, even for their pets. I'll be doggone them. The dog Coco, everybody in the house has skin issues. She's breaking out and shedding from something at the vet. And I'm like, I don't need my dog to smell like flowers when I pick her up. She was allergic to the shampoo they were using. She's a dog.
Right.
I couldn't figure out what the issue was. And so Leilani said, she's just like one of the family. Even the dog got eczema.
Right. Oh,
so,
no.
I called Kamaria like, hey, Coco shedding and dandruff and all these issues was going on. And she said, well, the same shampoo you use on your clients, use it on Coco. I said, really? She said, it'll be fine. I tried it and I'm like, wow, I got good results.
Really?
So I took some pictures and she said her coat looks beautiful. See? What'd you put on it? I said, I used the Castile soap, And so she was like, I'm going to need you to make some of that too. I'm like, you're kidding. I said, nobody's going to buy my stuff in Birmingham if I'm making stuff for dogs and humans. And she was like, well, just try it out here in Cincinnati and we'll see how it goes. And you'll be surprised how people will catch on. Yeah. So, I said, well, I need to come up with a new logo. And she said, no, keep your logo. That face, that hair, people, they identify with it is you.
That's right. Yeah, that's branding. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I said, but I need to add a dog. So a girl named Allison, I said, here's a picture of Coco. Add Coco to the logo and let me see what you come up with. Mm-hmm. Sent it to Kamaria in Ohio. I love it. So I make up a big batch of dog fur oil, dog shampoo, and paw oil. Wow. And she sells out of it.
Look at
so she's moving her business to open up a pet shop, and she's going to carry my organic line in her pet shop in Ohio.
That's awesome.
So
oh wow.
I finally got Golden Temple to agree to carry the pet line too. People in the South, we're a little like, I don't know about that. But
that is so. I mean, you have so much. And I mean, that's just really exciting to hear. And so even I just want the audience to know, we have a Flora Pearl Foundation session coming up at the Hoover Library, and it will be on February the 26th. It's that Sunday at 3:30, and she will be there to share even more about her line. And so be prepared for Yolaine Sykes. She'll be there, like I said, February 26th at 3:30. At our Flora Pearl Foundation session at the Hoover Library in Birmingham, Alabama. So yeah, we'll give more details on that, but you just have a lot of exciting things coming up, and I'm just, I invite people to come out to even hear more, and we'll just, we'll look forward to it, and we definitely want to support, I believe in, and we've talked before about, just mutually beneficial, and we appreciate you believing in us, and in turn, we definitely believe in you, and so we're excited to see what's coming down the line, and I've just been very grateful for you all, sharing with us today. And we have a segment that we call Matters of the Heart Moment. And so, Leilani, I want to start with you. In speaking to your 4-year-old self, what would you say to her?
I would tell her everything is going to be all right, and no matter what people say or do, it's really going to change as you get older. Because I remember times when I was younger in pre-K, people used to bully me. I remember one boy called me Peppermint. And I went to middle school with his friend. Then I went to high school with the dude who actually called me that. And the dude in middle school, he ended up mentioning something like that. And I was just like, boy, but just go on about your day. Because it really didn't faze me, but at the time I would really cry, and I was just very sensitive. And I also struggled with stuttering, and people used to crack on me and stuff about that. And I mean, sometimes it's funny, but you know, you like for people that if a little girl is listening, and if you do stutter, and if people do crack on you, just don't pay it no attention, because you listen to me now, that if I didn't tell you that, you probably would have even noticed, because it took time. I took speech, mythology. Even though I didn't like going there, I'm actually glad that my mama forced me to go, because it ended up working out a lot. But just know, those people that talk about you and dog you out now, just wait till you get older. They're going to be begging you for your friendship and your attention when you get older. So God will work it out. And just don't let it phase you, because I let it phase me. And if I was 4 years old, again, 4 years old again, sorry,
That's fine.
I would just sit back and take a deep breath and just wouldn't worry about it, because I came a long way.
Good for you. Good for you. What about you, Yolaine?
What would I tell my 4-year-old
Yes.
self? I think I would tell my 4-year-old self to continue to trust in God, to not worry so much about what friends or family have to say as far as negative information.
Yeah.
To speak up for yourself more.
Okay.
To use your voice, and to tap into your natural God-given talents. A lot of the stuff I know now, I kind of played around with in being underneath my grandmother and my mom, mixing and baking and, preparing herbal remedies and everything. And so I would have never imagined that it would be a way for me to inspire young girls to care for their skin and their hair, and to motivate other women to feel confident about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So that probably would be it.
Awesome. And so, Leilani, what motivates you?
My parents, and I really like to listen to music and stuff like that. So, and my two favorite artists are Janelle Monáe and J. Cole, and they motivate me too. Cause it's a song called Love Yours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all ever heard of it, but even if you have, it's the one line that says, "It's not such thing as a life that's better than yours." And meaning, what that means is that some people may be the richest person on earth, and some people may not have as much. But he also said, if you don't love yourself, nobody is going to ever love you. So you got to be able to accept what you have in order to be successful. Because you see other people like Tupac and, other different little, people that didn't come from anything for real. And it's other people. I know I go to school with a girl. She's rich. She's probably one of the richest kids in the school. But I don't let that faze me, because I know one day that's going to be me. And I know you got to come from somewhere in somewhere. So I just say, just don't let it get to you, because it's going to turn itself around.
Awesome. Wow. All right, Mom, what motivates you? Do you need to follow behind? That was, you go give me some, sister. All right, Miss Leilani.
For a lot of things, Leilani really is my motivation, my son and my daughter. I do a lot of things for them.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised by a single parent. My mom always tried to expose me to better things, made sacrifices for me to have things that, now that I look back, we probably couldn't really afford. So when I decided to take on a second job at Miles, I would tell Lawrence and Leilani, my teaching job can pay for everything that we need, everything that we need. This job is for you all to have extra things that we want. These are for the things that you want, not for the things that you need. So they're like, I don't want to eat this, or I don't want to do this, I'm tired. And I said, oh, I'm tired too. I just left my second job. You know, I'm tired. Oh, well, I'm going up to the school today for ACT tutoring on a Saturday, and you can't get up and do something. Maybe you don't want Jordans for Christmas. You know, maybe you don't want a polo for Christmas.
Right.
Because you don't have to have it. You know, Target sells really nice clothes.
All right, Tarjay. Look, I'm just saying, Wally World.
But you know, I my children are my motivation, because I did not want to stay single. I'm happily married for the second time, and my children motivate me to have a healthy relationship with their father. My children motivated me to want to re-enter the institution of marriage and let them see what love looks like.
Okay.
And so I would say probably 80% is me making sure that I'm the first role model for Lawrence and Leilani.
Okay.
A lot of what I do is for them. Okay. A lot of what I do is for them.
Yeah.
They're my motivation.
Yeah.
My daughter is really good. When I tell her about stuff, she always says, "Oh, Mom, I'm so proud of you. That's so good. You're doing good
Isn't
for yourself."
that awesome?
So, yeah, she is really a good motivator and role model.
Look.
Look at her.
Like, yes, that's me.
So, yeah, my children.
Okay. And so, Leilani, if you would leave us with that last minute piece of advice.
The advice that I give to you guys is that don't be afraid to try new things. Although it might be difficult or awkward at first, you never know what it might get to you. Because if I didn't try new things, look, I wouldn't be where I was now. So, although you might not want to do it, but trust me, if you believe that it'll work itself out in the future.
Awesome, Leilani. Well, ladies, we just want to thank you all for being here today, and just allowing us to come into your space. I'm grateful to be here. And earlier, if you all heard, it was Coco. Look, we tried to, we tried to deflect, like, you couldn't hear, but I'm just like, especially since Yolaine talked about the line she has for the pets, right? So we just had to invite Coco, and she's allowed me to be in our space. So I just thank you all for letting me come into your home, like, really, and sincerely, because, I know people, as far as their space, sometimes that's not always the case. So thank you for allowing the podcast to be in your home today. So we do appreciate it. And, our goal at the Flora Pearl Foundation is to always just be able to be a blessing to all those we come in contact with, and we choose to operate with the spirit of excellence. So we want to thank you all so much for listening today. And we invite you to visit our website at florapearlfoundation.org. So once again, that's www.florapearlfoundation.org. And we just look forward to seeing you all next week, and we'll talk to you soon.